Are you guys ready to talk Star Wars Celebration pins? Let's go. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to talk Star Wars Celebration pin trading and collecting. So, for those of you going to London Celebration for your first time, you guys might not be aware of how big of a deal pin trading and collecting can be at a Star Wars Celebration show. So, I'm going to go over today what kind of pins to expect, how to get them, and where you can find them. Because if you've never been, it's a whole thing in itself. And I wish I would have known during my first celebration about this, because afterwards I saw a lot of cool pins that I wish I would have got. And ever since Chicago 2019, when I got into it a lot more, I've been well prepared for trying to collect as many of the celebration exclusive pins as possible. So I'm gonna show you a little checklist that was made. It might have been like a pin trading Facebook group or like something on Discord, but they compiled this list of all the celebration exclusive pins at Anaheim this past year. So pretty much every year at celebrations, the pins, well, at least since 2017, they've done tons of different pins. Some that you could only get at the celebration store, which the celebration store is the store at the convention that has all the con exclusive merchandise. So all the stuff that'll say like London Celebration t-shirts, hats, bags, all those kind of gifts and stuff like that. So they also do pins. So for Anaheim, they had a lot of different pins and there was a lot of different ways to get them. So we're going to start here at the top. So basically, you had these three packs up here: this Attack of the Clones, this Bad Batch, and this Mandalorian 3-pack. So these were part of the Road to Celebration. So these were released beforehand to pre-order to either have shipped to you or pick up, and that was pretty much originally the only way you could get it. So it was a bundle. Each came with a T-shirt and 3 pins. The only one that I pre-ordered was this Bad Batch one, so I did have this before I went to Celebration. But cool thing, they actually had these pin 3-packs separate by themselves in the celebration store, which was cool. I'm guessing maybe all the shirt bundles didn't sell out and they had extras. I'm not 100% sure, but I was able to pick up this Attack of the Clones pin set there. And I think the pin set alone was like $30, but the bundle with the t-shirt was like 55, something like that. So these were the first sets of pins that you could get for Anaheim. Next, we're going to do the 3-packs that they had at the celebration store. So they had 5 different 3-packs. So they had this Attack of the Clones right here. They had another Bad Batch pin set, another Mandalorian pin set, this Rebels one, which is awesome with that Thrawn, this Ezra, Sabine, and then the classic 3-pack that had Palps, Vader, and Stormtrooper. So these were all dope. I think while I was there, I only picked up this Attack of the Clones and this Rebels. So these were, I believe, $30 each. But as you guys can see so far, say if you liked all of these, that adds up very, very quick. So just keep that in mind. What I try to do is just focus on the ones that I like a lot or that has a character I like a lot. Like this one, I pretty much like everybody in here. And then same thing with this one too. Now, not saying I don't like the rest of the other ones, but these I liked a little bit more than the other 3-packs. So you got to sometimes pick and choose. Unless you could splurge and get them all, then get them all. But I mean, not everyone's in that situation. All right, so this was the first time I see them do this, and it was a pain in the butt. So each day at the celebration store, they had a different pilot pin. So the first day was Jip Dodger. The second day was Sash Ketter. The third day was Carson Teva. And then the fourth day was Trapper Wolf. So you basically had to get into the celebration store each day for these, which in itself can be a challenge because that line is very, very long. So I was thrown off my first day. When I got in on Thursday, I bought the pin. I didn't realize it. Either they ran out of him or the lady by mistake gave me the Friday pin. And I didn't realize it till Friday. So when I went in on Friday, I went to get the pin and I was like, hey, I have her already. Is this the right one? So I ended up not getting that pin. It was a big mess. But I went back Saturday, got Carson, went back Sunday, got Trapper Wolf. And I ended up ordering Jip Dodger off eBay just because I wanted to complete the set. It was just bothering me. But that's something that they did there, and we could see it in London. I'm not sure, but there are those daily pilot pins where you just go in each day and grab them. Now, next up, this is the one that's kind of the most fun, I would say, and it's kind of like a little adrenaline rush when you're opening these up. So they're mystery boxes. So they're a mystery pin 2 packs. So it's a box, $20. You get 2 pins. They come in little black bags, so it's a mystery. Hence the name mystery pin 2 pack. So you open them up and you see who you get. So typically it's one of these 10 right here that you see here. So there's a lot of cool characters in there, and there's a little bit of something from everybody from prequels to OG trilogy to the sequel trilogy. But what people go nuts for in the mystery pin pack are the chase pins. So there are 4 secret chase pins that they always do in the mystery boxes. So for this year, it happened to be these 4 right here. So you had a chance of getting Han Solo and Carbonite, Black Chrysanthemum, Tusken Raider, or the Gamorrean Guard. So these chase pins can be a pain to get. I've seen people buy 10, 15 boxes and not get 1 chase. I've seen people buy 5 boxes and get 3 chases. So it's really just luck. And a lot of these go for money. It's crazy. Like people will sell these 60, 80, $100 each, which is wild. So at Anaheim, I actually lucked out and I got the Tusken and the Gamorrean Guard. And then my boy who I went with, Ricky, he got the Black Chrysanthemum and the Han Solo and Carbonite. What I do when I go is I budget at least 100 or 200 for mystery pins, which sounds crazy, but hear me out. So there's 2 in a box. I'll buy a bunch. That way I could kind of get the ones that I want. And then I either trade or sell the other ones. So I basically get more than half my money back. So say if I get all 10 of these, all my duplicates, I just sell for $10 each. Like it's really easy to find somebody who wants it. And then you're also doing them a favor because say they only want a certain character and you have it, they could just buy it for $10 instead of spending $20 on a box and not knowing what they're going to get. And then even with the chases, I really try not to resell them. But if I get extras, I usually will hook somebody up like a real good deal. Not like the 80 to 100 that they're going for, but maybe like 30, $40, something like that. Just because like they do hold their value, which is pretty crazy. So that's something that I always do. I always get like a decent amount of these, and then I end up like selling off some for retail and just kind of keeping the ones that I want. So these ones here, the sponsor pins, this is where the fun begins, as Anakin would say. So basically, each vendor on the exhibit floor, on the showroom floor, gets a pin potentially. So usually it's like 7 or 8 different vendors that they choose, and each vendor can do with the pin whatever they want. So they could give it away for free. They could do little raffles for it. They could sell it for $10. They could set a limit where you must purchase 20, 40, $50 worth of stuff and you get it for free. So it varies at every single one, which can make it a challenge. So for example, Plo Koon at Stance, you had to spend $50 on socks to get Plo Koon, which I didn't do because I wasn't trying to buy $50 worth of socks. Chewy at Kotsubukiya was $10. So I just walked up to the booth, $10, got my Chewy. Ray at Asmodo was $10. So same thing, walked up, grabbed her. Kanan at Kodo, you had to spend like $75. And there was nothing there that I really wanted, so I did not get Kanan, which sucked because I really wanted him. Crosshair was at the Heroes and Villains booth, and you just had to spend $25 there, and you got him for free. So they had a really cool Obi-Wan Kenobi exclusive celebration t-shirt. I grabbed that shirt anyway, and then I got Crosshair for free, which was awesome. Grief Karga was at Caseify, and I believe you just had to give them your email. So I gave them a fake email, and then I got my Grief Karga for free. So that was super easy to get him. Han was tricky. So the Citizens booth, they had a kiosk that you tapped your badge on, and it would say either yes or no, meaning yes, you got the pin, no, you didn't. So the first 3 days, I got all no's. The last day, and this was literally maybe a half hour before the show ended, I run over to Citizen. There's one guy there doing it. So I'm right behind him, and he taps his badge. He gets a no. He starts digging through his backpack because he's looking for another badge because he had a second badge. So while he was doing that, I just went up, tapped it because I was like, I'm not waiting forever. I tapped it and I got a yes. So I ended up leaving with Han, which was great. So if that dude in front of me would have had his badges out and ready, he would have hit. So I got super lucky with that. And then Yoda at the Bandai Namco booth, I think you had to spend $25 and you got him. So my boy wanted something from here. I ended up just buying that for him, and then I got the pin. So those are the sponsor pins. So with that, you got to be very strategic and plot out where you want to go when the show opens, because a lot of people will get there early and literally will run to these booths to line up to get these pins. So you guys will see like how it can be kind of a big deal to certain people, It's just fun though too, like the rush of trying to get it. And each booth usually puts out a certain amount each day. So once they're gone for that day, you got to come back the next day. But with this, it's kind of impossible to do in one day. I mean, you could, but you spend your whole day waiting in lines because some of these lines got crazy long and I just didn't have the patience for it. So those are the sponsor pins. Then you got the lanyard pin. So at the Celebration store, it was a cool lanyard set that it was a lanyard and it came with the pin on it, like in the packaging. So that was like 25 bucks. So it's not bad. It's 10 bucks for the pin, 15 for the lanyard, but you have to buy it as a set. And then the next one are these incentive pins. So these are in the Celebration store, and the only way to get them, you have to spend a certain dollar amount in the store, and then you'll be eligible to buy them. So they're pretty rare, and you have to spend money to get them. So, like for example, this C3PO, you had to spend 100, and once you hit that 100 mark, you could get it. For this Jabba, you had to spend 200, and once you hit the 200 mark, then you could get Jabba. Which it does seem like a lot, but once you get in that Celebration store, there's so much stuff to buy in there, whether you're getting stuff for yourself, for friends, for family, souvenirs, gifts for people. So it can add up pretty quick. So just keep that in mind depending on what the incentive pins are, but they pretty much always have something cool. Last one, and this one is very tricky to get, is this Luke Skywalker pin, the Jedi Luke. It was a staff pin. So basically, they gave all the staff members this pin, and you could basically just trade them a pin for it. So if you had an extra pin, you could walk up and say, "Hey, I'll trade you this for that Luke." They'd say yes or no. So I got lucky on the second or third day, and I found someone in the store that sold it. So yeah, I got super, super lucky. So that's basically how it works. So you got some stuff you can order beforehand. There's 3 packs in the store, daily pins, mystery pins, sponsor pins, and then incentive and staff pins. This was Anaheim. Here's a look at Chicago. So as you can see, they kind of did similar stuff there. They actually had a 4 pack there, the Phantom Menace, which I didn't get that, but damn, it's fire. They did some 2 packs. They did some 3 packs. Here are your blind boxes. They had chase pins as well and all that good stuff. So that was Chicago. And same thing for those sponsor pins. They were all at different booths on the floor. So in Chicago, if you wanted the AT-AT driver, it was Bandai. TIE Fighter Pilot was Heroes and Villains. Clone Trooper EFX. Sabine, whoever this is. Ahsoka was at Funko. Rose at FYE. Leia at Koto. And Mace at Kotobukiya. So yeah, it's the pin trading stuff is a lot of fun. And then here's Orlando. So Orlando was my first celebration. The only pin I got was the Kylo because it was free at Funko if you made a purchase. So that's the only reason I knew that they had a pin. I didn't get any of the blind boxes, which man, I wish I did. Look at Chopper, Ezra, Jar Jar. Like there's some dope stuff. So I'm very excited to see what London is gonna bring. Hopefully they have some cool stuff. Now, I might try to complete the London set. And the reason I want to do this is because I want to get a shadow box. So some people they'll get shadow boxes like from Michael's or a craft store, and they'll do something like this right here, which looks great. So they have all their pins in there, they got their lanyard in there, they got their badge in there. So I might do something with this potentially, especially if I get the complete set for London. So there's one example right there. This is another one right here too. They did a little different. They got 2 lanyards going down the side. So yeah, just stuff like that is pretty cool. I'll probably try to do something like that potentially, but I'm very excited to see when we get this list for London. So eventually, once they're done with all the guest announcements, we will get more announcements on like exclusives and stuff. And they do separate announcements for pins specifically. So I remember at one point last year for Anaheim, like just like how we would get a guest announcement on Monday and maybe another one on Wednesday, they would do a couple pins one day, a couple pins the next day. So you guys will see like it's kind of a big thing that people like to collect and do there. So I'll be covering all those updates as well as all the other updates like guests, all the pin updates, the exclusive updates, the panels, the lottery. So if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, be sure to subscribe because I will be dropping those videos as the news comes. And then I'm going to show you guys how I have my pins right now. So these are how I have mine. So as you can see, I got almost all of them from Anaheim, but I just love how they look on my backpack. And then that top row, that's the chase set from Anaheim 2020 online. Since they didn't have it in person, they still release the pins online. But I just love how these pins look. Good variety of characters, and then I love wearing it on my backpack like this, because this is a great conversation starter when you're standing in line for a booth, for a panel. Shoot, even like, when I'm at the airport going there, people see that, it'll start a conversation, especially if they know about the pins, if they know about Star Wars, if they know about Celebration. So that's why I love wearing mine on the backpack. And this is my other backpack. So those are a lot of the 2020 online pins. And then there's a 2 rows of the Chicago pins. So Chicago is really where I started to get more. But then after that, you can see Chicago's there. And then Anaheim online, I got a ton. And then the whole other backpack is almost all pins. So definitely one of my favorite parts of Celebration is trying to just complete those pin sets. So looking forward for that. So in the comments down below, let me know if you guys have been to Celebration before, and if you guys have gotten into the pin collecting. And if this is going to be your first time going to Celebration, let me know if you're going to try to get some of these pins. So if you guys enjoy this video, drop a like. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.